Hello YouTubers, Joe Kersey here. On Saturday, December 28th, 2013 at 1900 Zulu time. Now today, as I may have mentioned, I was going to go, indeed did go, to the funeral of a fellow from our church who was also, greatly beloved in the town and community and county and so forth. He was, let's see, I read his obituary. He was, I thought he was a little older than he was. He was just 80. He was just 80. And he died of some very, very suddenly abrupt, well, that's redundant, isn't it? Very, very sudden post-op complication after some sort of aortic procedure, either on his aorta proper or his valve, or with this new HIPPA law, you can't, nobody can tell anybody anything, so that you can't discuss anything intelligently, anymore. It makes the whole process of medical care for the, in terms of when you hear it discussed among lay people, even more opaque and magical than it was before, when you could actually hear information about people and talk about them based on that information. Anyway, that's pretty packed house. The church seats 205, and we probably had about 185 people there. Maybe a few more, actually. Well, let's just say 185. Now, apparently, two of this guy's relatives, I think one was like a nephew and one was like a great-nephew. I guess the great-nephew's either a seminarian or a priest, a Protestant, some sort of Protestant clergy somewhere. Not, but not, like a Lutheran priest or a Episcopal priest. And then another guy is I think the older guy, the nephew is a Roman Catholic priest. And so they were all participating in the service. And then of course we had Charles and our deacon, Roseanne. And so no extra help was needed, which just as well. And Charles is always, he does a very good funeral oration. He did a very good funeral oration today, tying it in with the Christmas season, which that could have been a minefield, but he pulled it off. Good show, Charles. And he did the Apostles' Creed. Also very good for Charles. Although he used the egregious right to. Well, all right. So I actually didn't stick around for the interment. It was like a mob scene. It was turning into a mob scene, and it's hard to pack 185 people into that side yard there. It's a fairly, it's not a small memorial garden, but there's a lot of places you can't walk in the memorial garden because you're going to be stepping on marble plaques and things and plantings and little statues and that sort of thing. So I thought, no need for me to be out there. lots of moral support anyway out there. So actually, I got somewhat ambushed on the way out the door by one of the Alder Guild souls, and they had opened up three. Actually, they opened up four. Communion bread rounds. And obviously not all 185 people took communion. I didn't, largely on just thinning the herd grounds, and you've got all these people in there. I have not been challenged by their various flora and fauna in their bods, on the communion cup. So I try to confine my communion cup use to people I'm familiar with and know that I've been exposed to repeatedly in the past. So I rarely ever take communion at a funeral, unless I'm up there helping. Of course, then that's okay, because I'm one of the first ones to get it. So, but anyway, she wanted me to finish up this broken bread, so I guess I ended up taking communion anyway. Good. I always think about John 6 when I do that. Eat this bread. You do not eat this body and eat this bread, have no part in me. This is a hard teaching, and afterwards he lost many of his followers. Well, got home safely, the house was safe, nobody broke in and trashed the place, and so it's a glorious day. It's 46 degrees. I turned the big red heater off in the basement this morning, and I'm going to leave the fan on down there for another week or so, but it's considerably drier. It was I'd gotten the thing up to 63 degrees with this thing. There have been winters where where it's been real cold, particularly January's. Well, no, it's always been in December, I think, where you get these long, prolonged cold. Well, no, in January too. Something. When it's down below, when it's consistently below 10 degrees, I'll run the heater in the basement anyway. And I've had to run it for almost 10 days at a stretch once. Well, that was a hefty electric bill. I wasn't quite $500, but it was close. But actually, I'd gotten the thing up down there at 72. And of course, when it gets that warm down there, you don't need to run much stuff up here at all. So, it balances out. The floor gets very warm. You can walk around in your bare feet. It feels very, very pleasant. The dogs certainly liked it. They would. Normally they wouldn't lie on the floor. They'd try to find a chair or a couch. But when I was running the heater downstairs, they'd lie on the floor. Well, that's about it. I got home here and I was tending to some loose ends in terms of email and stuff. And, I thought it was just too nice a day to sit inside. I'm going to have to come out here and enjoy the day. So that's what I'm doing here for a while. Alrighty now. I'm going to say bye-bye, YouTubers here. I'll let you look at the area of beauty here. Here, I'll pan over here shortly a little bit there, just for the heck of it. Oh, dear God, I hope they don't run us out of this place. Alrighty now, bye-bye.